I watched the opening statements from both Schiff and this clown Nunes, and then I had errands to run, so I listened on Sirius XM while I hustled ass around the city. But I'll tell you, it's just astonishing. It really is the degree to which the Republicans, at least the ones that did some of the questioning today, are so willing to trash the Constitution, disrespect this country, piss all over all the sacrifices people have made for this country, whether they were real sacrifices or we were just told they were sacrifices. When you think of the 400,000 Americans who died in World War II, you think of the 58,000 Americans who died in Vietnam, you think of the 800,000 Americans who died in this country, and then that's just three examples. There were thousands in World War I also, but then when you consider the position that these Republican members of Congress took today, they should be denied their citizenship. They really should be. I mean, I have no respect for any Republican at this point, but the ones who did the questioning today, especially Jim Jordan, what a prick, and Devin Nunes, what a super prick. Those people like that should be, just give them a satchel full of money, put them on a goddamn boat, and push them off the coast from New Orleans and say adios. What a bunch of bastards. A real effort here to get to the degree and depth of the betrayal of this country by this gangster in the White House. And yet, the Republicans are the ones who have turned this into a partisan event, one that should be bipartisan. There should be an honest search for the truth, which is what the Democrats have done. They have spent 3 years trying to figure out how and why and to what degree Donald Trump, before he was even president, compromised the security of this country, the safety of Americans, the economic stability of this country, our foreign policy relationships, our foreign relationships with other countries, the viability of our foreign policy, the viability of our domestic policy. Trump has broken all of those. I don't think this orange son of a bitch could have destroyed them, but he's broken them all. And then to see those Republicans defending him. And the hell of it was, their defense of him was not to deny and offer up their proof as to why this shouldn't be happening, this impeachment inquiry, but rather they devoted their time to showing why this impeachment inquiry or something similar to it should be happening, but with Joe Biden or Barack Obama as the targets. These Republicans are so far from honor or valor or truth as to render the distance, incalculable. It was just astonishing to watch and to listen to. Let me give you a synopsis. I don't know how much of it you saw today, but let me try to synopsize certain aspects of what happened at that hearing today. First of all, William Taylor, the acting ambassador to the Ukraine, tied Trump more directly to the effort to pressure Ukraine to screw over what Trump thought would be his political opponent, Joe Biden, than anybody has done so far. Taylor described a phone call in which Trump sought information about the status of the investigations that he had asked Ukraine to launch one day earlier. According to the Washington Post, Taylor, the acting ambassador to Ukraine, told lawmakers that the phone conversation between Trump and the U.S. ambassador to the European Union, and remember who this guy is, Gordon Sondland. He's a rich fucker who contributed $1 million to Trump's inauguration masturbatory party. And he was, in that manner, bought his ambassadorship to the European Union. According to Taylor, that phone conversation between Trump and U.S. Ambassador to the European Union, Gordon Sondland, in Kiev was overheard by one of his aides, one of Taylor's aides. Afterwards, Sondland told the aide that Trump cared more about investigations of former Vice President Joe Biden than any of the issues that Ukraine might be dealing with, Taylor said. This startling testimony, because see, Sondland is a chump. Sondland is a rich bitch who knows shit about anything except how to grin and shuck and jive and buy his way into Trump's inner circle with his $1 million. So Sondland has no fucking idea what he's doing or why he's even there. So the testimony regarding what Sondland said, that Trump didn't give a shit about any issue about Ukraine other than finding some crap on Joe Biden, is a clear indication of how naive and stupid Sondland was. And that's why Trump now is saying, Gordon Sondland, I don't know, I never heard of him. I don't know him. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Sondland, or that particular testimony revealed a new example of Trump's personal involvement in the Ukraine pressure campaign that touched off this impeachment inquiry. This, people have to understand, it doesn't make any difference what these filthy Republicans say. None of this shit would be happening except for Trump. Except for Trump being the criminal that he is. Now, there was one bit of testimony today that just cracked my ass up. I laughed out loud. I don't know who the Democratic congressman was who said it, but Jim Jordan, the guy who's covering up massive sexual abuse at Ohio State. Jim Jordan was just doing his Jim Jordan thing, okay? And he was zeroing in. He wasn't asking a question. He was just grandstanding and doing his Jordan thing. But he was zeroing in on the whistleblower, that all these scum bastards want to know who it is. Why? I don't know. Maybe because they don't have anything else to bitch and complain about. They know the fucker's guilty. They know Trump's guilty. So he kept referring to the person who started all this, that whistleblower, that anonymous bastard whistleblower, right? And the two witnesses just sat there and listened while this dumb fuck just went on and on and on. He finally stopped. And then the Democrat, it was his turn. I forget who it was. But he kind of looked down the table. He said to Jim Jordan, my colleague on the other side of the aisle, we'd be happy. You want the person who started all this in the witness table? We'd be happy to bring him in. Anytime Donald Trump wants to come and sit at the table, we'll be happy to talk with him. I lost it. And Jordan, of course, immediately was busy fucking around with papers or something, right? When you score that kind of a zinger, you ought to get a trophy. Jesus Christ. Where was I? Anyways, the Post reports this investigation has produced volumes of information, all kinds of shit, about the actions of top Trump advisors to push Ukraine to forget about the fact that they're trying to re-establish their country, what we're going to have to do after this Trump fucker's gone. But Ukraine is trying desperately with a new president and with new upper-level officers in the government. They're trying desperately to undo the damage that this slob fucking Putin and now Trump have perpetrated on Ukraine. So they're struggling to get their country back up. And this came out today, which I didn't know, I should have known. Ukraine is the biggest country in Europe. It's bigger than France. It's bigger than any of these countries. And it doesn't want to be part of the Soviet Union. Ukraine never wanted to be part of the Soviet Union, but they didn't have a choice. So they want to join the Western countries. They want to become part of NATO, part of the European Union. Now, whether you agree with those alliances or not is kind of beside the point in this context. That's what Ukraine wants. That's what they were striving to do. And in the middle of this new government, in stomps Rudy Giuliani and all these gangsters, led by Donald Trump, telling the new president, okay, look, you know, you've got an invasion from Russia going on in the eastern part of your country. Yeah, we'll help you. But there's something we want you to do first. What a bunch of miserable fuckers. But anyway, the exact role of Trump himself has remained an open question. Because like so many mafia types, Trump is careful about one thing, to try to hide his footprints, his spoor, his tracks. He tries to have layers of bullshit between him and the action that he wants done. It's an old mafia trick. You never directly say, I want that guy killed. What you say to one of your gunzels is, you know, that guy, you know, the conversation we had about that guy? Yeah, you know, that conversation has really got me upset. I wonder if anything bad is ever going to happen to that guy. You know what I'm saying? End of discussion. The gunzel then knows what to do. He's just been ordered to make a hit. That's how Trump operates. Only Trump has this fruitcake fucking bat boy, Giuliani, who used to be the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, the district that's now investigating him. How in the fuck could Giuliani have ever been anything but the gangster that he is with Trump? That's the mystery to me. So the exact role of Trump still remains an open question, because Trump and the mafia types around him, these lying, slimy fuckers around him, have taken extra steps to cover everything, so that the boss, so that il capo de tutti capos is not revealed. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcasts. You have your choice. You can listen to the ranting with the audio podcast, or listen and watch me lose control with a video podcast subscription. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.